Today, I want to share a thought-provoking story that a professor has been telling his new students for many years. It's a story that dives deep into the core of our moral compass and what truly guides our actions. Imagine this scenario. There's a very elderly woman. She has some money in her purse. Now, you find yourself in a situation where you're considering taking that money. But suddenly, you're faced with two conflicting thoughts. First, you think about honor. You don't want to bring shame to your family name, your community, your church, or your country. It's a matter of pride and reputation. Honor keeps you in check because you fear what people might think or say about you. But then another thought arises, a thought driven by compassion. You begin to worry about the elderly woman. What would happen to her if she lost that money? What about the family members who depend on her? How would they survive without that money? Now, the professor asks his students a simple yet profound question. What's the main reason you wouldn't steal the elderly woman's purse? Is it honor, or is it compassion? Every year, without fail, all of his students choose the second reason, compassion. They wouldn't steal because they care about the well-being of the elderly woman and those who depend on her. The professor smiles and says, you all come from different backgrounds and believe in a lot of different ideas, but you're more aligned with Jesus than you might realize. He then goes on to explain something fascinating about different religious teachings. He writes two words on the board, honor and compassion. Many teachings, from Buddha and Hinduism to Islam and non-Christians, focus heavily on honor, living a life that upholds family, tradition, and societal expectations. But when it comes to Christ's teachings, the focus shifts dramatically. Jesus taught that our actions should stem from a place of love and compassion, not just duty or honor. This is evident in his response to the question, which is the greatest commandment? Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. Matthew 22 verses 37 to 40. Jesus' teachings are fundamentally about compassion, caring for others as we would care for ourselves. In the story of the Good Samaritan, Jesus illustrates that true neighborly love transcends social and religious boundaries. It's about helping those in need, regardless of who they are. This principle of compassion over honor is also powerfully demonstrated in the story of the rich young man. The man approached Jesus, claiming that he had kept all the commandments since he was young. Jesus looked at him with love and said, "One thing you lack. Go, sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." But the rich man was saddened by this and walked away, unable to part with his wealth. Jesus turned to his disciples and said, "How hard it is for the rich to enter the kingdom of God. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God." The disciples were astonished and asked, "Who then can be saved?" Jesus replied, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Matthew 19 verse 26. What a profound statement. Jesus wasn't merely talking about the difficulty of entering the kingdom of heaven based on human effort or merit. He was pointing to the limitless power of God's love and grace. With God's love, even the seemingly impossible becomes possible. This story shows us that, while human beings often focus on honor, status, and wealth, God's kingdom operates on a different principle: compassion and grace. Even when we fail or struggle to live up to these ideals, God's love has the power to transform us and save us. The professor then asks his students to reflect on this. Often, we hold beliefs that don't always align with our life experiences or our deepest instincts. When you choose compassion over honor, you are aligning with the very heart of Jesus' message. What does this tell us about morality? About religion? About ourselves? It suggests that deep down, we recognize that compassion, genuine love, and concern for others is the ultimate truth. It's what guides our conscience, aligns with our experiences, and resonates with our sense of what's right and just. As we continue this discussion, let's ponder these questions. Could it be that Jesus' teaching on compassion is the ultimate reality, the truest guide to how we should live? And if so, what does that mean for the choices we make every day? And perhaps most importantly, do we believe that with God, everything is indeed possible? Even the transformation of our hearts to align more closely with His compassion and love?